Hello folks, Peter Lawn here today. I wanted to show you a fun project that I've been working on that I call the NMS Creature Builder. It's a tool that I created in Microsoft Excel using Visual Basic coding to read the game creature files and then allow me to manage and change pet attributes and export the changes to my save file in the game. This project all started after the Companions update was released for No Man's Sky, and everybody was having fun running around and finding cool animals and making pets out of them. And then they would go up to the anomaly and show them off to their friends. But I was really disappointed about how the game only allowed you to store up to 6 pets. And if you ran across some other cool ones, you couldn't keep them unless you dumped one of the other ones in your set. Naturally, the first thing I started rummaging around in is the Save Game Editor utility, and specifically found where the pet files were stored. They're located in the JSON editor section under the player state data and then the pets section near the top of the file. You can see the 6 pet slots numbered 0 to 5 here under this section. And if you click on a pet number section in the right window, it will show you all the information about that pet. Well, there were some obvious settings in here that you can have some fun with, including changing your pet size at the top of the file here by changing this number after the scale value. I think at one point in time we even put this up to some crazy numbers where the pet was almost bigger than the planet, which is kind of a lot of fun. Now I warn you, if you're messing around in the JSON file, if you don't know what you're doing, you can cause serious harm to the game file. So back up your saves before playing around in the editor. Anyways, some settings in this pet section intrigued me, including this section here, which I found out is the physical attributes of the particular creature. In this case, the creature ID is called Triceratops, which happens to be the Diplo family, as well as those big dinosaur-looking creatures in the game. Turns out you can't really willy-nilly change these values, as not only are they name-specific, but there also is a certain hierarchy that needs to be followed for each pet that is described in the game files. Once I figured out where the game files were stored, I wrote a script to extract the EXML files and then some VB code to read those files and display the hierarchy names in my spreadsheet area that I set up in this area. You can see the full list of files in this column along with the associated creature ID, and I can highlight the particular creature and then hit the Load EXML button up at the top of the sheet, which will go out and load the physical attributes for that creature onto the sheet. So this is great because I can now see the hierarchy names, and at first I was just playing around with these names, and but then I found that it was problematic because you need to follow this hierarchy structure. So I created a form that would automatically load the hierarchy names and populate the attributes in the drop-down lists on the form here. That way, if I didn't need to manually try to figure out which attribute was allowed to be combined with other higher level attributes as the program controls the selections. Once this was working, I needed some way to see the effect of changing various attributes and how it impacted the look of the pet. I created a viewing form that would read the settings on the form and perform a lookup in a library where I had saved all my screenshots during my travels in the game. With the viewing window open, I can cycle through different screenshots of the particular creature, and if I like the look of one, I can use this copy button, copy to form, and it will copy the library pet file to the form. And that's great, you say, but how do I get this creature back into the game? It's actually pretty simple. I just click this export button here at the top of the form, which copies this pet file on the left-hand side here to the Windows clipboard. I just then switch over to the Save Game Editor, highlight the pet slot I want this pet to be in, and then in the right window hit Control A to select all the existing text that's there, and then hit Control V to paste what was in the clipboard to this pet slot. I exit the game and hit the save, and then also save on the main page of the editor, and I'm done. Now I just go back into the game and I reload the most recent save and check out my new pet. Okay, that's cool. By now you'd have noticed that there are other settings you can mess around with also. Um, Size, name of your pets, traits of your pet, how aggressive, playful, or devoted they are, and even mood control, which I'll be honest, I haven't quite figured out yet. In addition to those settings, there are a number of values that are called seeds, which control things like primary, secondary colors, and textures of the pets, and for some pets, the shape of their bodies. Now, a seed is simply a random 16-digit hex number generated that can define these parameters, very similar to ship seeds that define how your ship looks. I've created a random seed generator beside each value to allow me to create some random seeds, and I have a heck of a lot of fun seeing what the results come out of this process. The utility that allows me to save and load pet files to a library and adjust what home biome they're from, whether they're a predator or prey, and even a checkbox to add fur to an animal, which is kind of fun. I admit I don't quite have this age thing figured out yet. I think the age number in the file is a Unix epoch number, but I'm still messing around with that for now. Anyways, still more work to do on the program, but this gives you a sneak peek on the fun I've been having. And so for now, thanks for watching and keep safe, travelers.